All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winter 2026 Wasilla Week 6. Say that one 5 times fast. Doubleheader stream. I am your fellow Wasilla commentator, Andrew Jr. Excited, exhilarated for what we have on the table to offer to our viewers. We have the number one ranked team in Division 2, Martin Luther 10-0, going against the second ranked team in Division 2, St. Croix Panthers, who are 9-1. And later on, we will have the number one ranked team in Division 1, Whitefish Bay, 10-0, 30-0, clean record as can be, versus the number 4 ranked team in Division 1, 9-1, Waukesha West. So we'll go ahead and get into some team notes. So Martin Luther versus St. Croix. Martin Luther making their first streamed appearance since winning the Winter 2025 Wasilla State Championship for Division 2 against Fox Valley Lutheran, preventing a potential dynasty from happening in Wasilla Rocket League, although Fox Valley did go get those 2 title wins in a row. Martin Luther looking to do the same thing themselves. So in Division 2, their starting roster, Yamo, the prodigy that everybody has come to know, sophomore, peak rating of a Grand Champion 3. Vxrus, their senior, peak Grand Champion 3. Dxrkfrost, their freshman peak GC2. He replaces Jornado. Had Jornado last season. There were some complications that happened behind the scenes, so they bring in Dxrkfrost, another young piece to the puzzle here. So things are looking extremely bright for Martin Luther. They're definitely looking to make a statement with winning a consecutive title. And I mean, who can really fault them for having that mindset? Like, they are within the upper echelon of teams in this league. So in Winter 2025, 13-0 overall, 39-4 game record. They finished first out of 21 teams in Division 2. They were awarded the number 1 seed. They took down Two Rivers, MSL Hawks, Whitefish Bay, and like I said before, they defeated number 2 Fox Valley to win the Winter 2025 championship. Also adding to this as well, they defeated Pacelli in the gauntlet, but they fell to Case Walden in the gauntlet. But all things considered, Martin Luther a very successful season last year in Yamo's freshman year, Vxrus's junior year. This season in Winter 2026, 10-0 overall, 30-1 game record. Currently ranked first in Division 2 standings. So in week 1, they took down Beloit Turner in St. Lawrence Seminary. Week 2, a forfeit win versus Freedom Irish, and a win versus Wautoma, 3-0. Week 3, a win against Pacelli, also a sweep. Swept Brandon Lake as well. Week 4, sweeps against Nakusa and Little Wolf. And week 5, a forfeit win against Stanley Boyd and a 3-1 win against Barron. Barron took 1 game off of Martin Luther. It's the only individual game in a series that Martin Luther has lost. But as you look in the highlighted teams, all 4 of these teams, respectively, are top 12 within Division 2, which is insane and goes to show how battle tested Martin Luther has been. On the side of St. Croix, a revamped roster. They have Hyde, a senior, champion 2. Sajobi, a first year starter, junior, champion 1. And Hychik, who is a diamond 1, junior. Winter 2025 season statistics, regular season wise, 12-1 overall, 38-4 game record for St. Croix. They finished third out of 21 teams in Division 2. They dropped. Oh. So Division 2 playoffs, third seed, first round, number 14 Jefferson with the falling from grace toward the Panthers 3-0. And quarterfinals, St. Croix suffered a upset loss against Port Washington 3-1, so that resulted in a top 8 finish. For their inaugural season in Winter 2024, the Panthers were second place to Fox Valley Lutheran in a Winter 2024 playoffs. So St. Croix has had a little bit of legitimacy as a playoff team. Looking to get back to state, though, this season, Winter 2026, 9-1 overall record, 28-4 game record. They're currently ranked second in Division 2 standings. For week 1, they took down Thorpe and Sevastopol. Week 2, back-to-back sweeps against Little Wolf and Pacelli. Week 3, a loss to Barron 3-1. It was the only blemish on the record. And then a win to Beloit Turner. Week 4, forfeit win versus Stanley Boyd and a 3-0 sweep of the Gibraltar Vikings. And week 5, a win against Wautoma and a win against Elvendirian 3-1. So St. Croix also has legitimized their case as well. But against a team like Martin Luther, I mean, it's going to be very tough to overcome such an onslaught that Martin Luther is going to offer to their opponent today. For roster moves for St. Croix, Dalo and JMSN both graduated after winter 2025 season. They're both at UW River Falls. Dalo is on the Falcons varsity team, and JMSN is currently on the Falcons JV team. The Panthers retained Hyde, and they promoted Sajobi, to varsity and added Highchick to the roster as well. So that is all I have for notes on both of the teams. Got a couple more minutes, so we'll go ahead and throw up the standings here. We'll kind of briefly walk through this here. So again, special thanks to Wi-Fi from Whitefish Bay for putting all this together in a spreadsheet. That makes things very easy to look at for the casual viewer to kind of see where everybody is. So in terms of the major categories to look at, you definitely want to look at the series and games, past schedule, future schedule. Those are just metrics to say what teams had sort of the easiest strength of schedule, what teams sort of had the hardest strength of schedule. There's an other category as well. So for Whitefish Bay, like I alluded to before, we'll see them later on. 10-0 overall record and 30-0 game record. And for Martin Luther and St. Croix, you see on the right-hand side, they are both fighting for the number one seed in Division 2. And this game is definitely going to, present a head-to-head tiebreaker for either team here. It just comes down to which team wants it more. I mean, if you ask Martin Luther what the color of their walls are, I mean, they'll tell you it's green. So maybe they'll be able to plaster some more green paint on the wall during the series against St. Croix. Or, I mean, the Panthers could pull off an upset. You never really know any given Tuesday, but Martin Luther, they have the confidence in themselves to get the job done. So we'll see if that will transpire here today. But again, against an opponent like St. Croix, definitely do not want to let your guard down. And on the side of Waukesha West, they're looking to rebound after losing to Cedarburg 3-1 back in week 4 when we had them on the stream. This will be their third time this season being on stream, and know that it's not coincidental. They just have the really good matches in the season, so that is why they're being featured so much. And we love to see the amazing Rocket League competition that we have around in Waukesha. So definitely can't complain about that aspect of it. So we'll go ahead and get the lobby queued up for both of the teams here. We'll go ahead and release the lobby information to both teams. And again, if you're just tuning into the stream, this is the Winter 2026 Waukesha Week 6 doubleheader stream. I am your fellow Waukesha commentator, Andrew Jr. Pleased to walk you through both of our matchups today. So our first match, which will be kicking off in a matter of minutes, will be between Martin Luther and St. Croix. Martin Luther 10-0 on the season, 30-1 game record, currently holding the number 1 ranking in Division 2. Meanwhile, their opponent St. Croix, also in Division 2, is ranked 2nd with a 9-1 overall record. Only blemish losing to Barron, who is 8-2, who's a little bit lower on the rankings. But for St. Croix, this is an important game to keep them in the upper echelon in terms of seeding, because we now know from our executive producer, Mike Dolly, that the top 16 in both Division 1 and Division 2 will advance to a 16-team playoff bracket. And this is week 6. We have one more week. That is next week, week 7 of regular season action. And then after that, Mike Dolly will go ahead and put together the playoff brackets, and we'll be able to stream the quarterfinal playoff match on February 17th right here on the Waukesha YouTube and Twitch channels. And on Thursday, February 19th, we will have the it should be first round for February 17th, and then quarterfinals on February 19th. As semifinals and grand finals will take place both at State, which is February 28th. I believe UW Green Bay is hosting it this time. We'll have a schedule conflict with the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association event, so I might not be able to make it there for broadcasting for that, but I can certainly guarantee you I will be here for obviously this stream right now, week 7, first round playoff and quarterfinal for playoffs. Again, just excited to see such another stacked card of Rocket League action. I know in winter 2025 we had one stream where it was just 3 matches back to back to back. I believe Pacelli was one of them, and then it was Whitefish Bay and the MSL Hawks. I can't remember what the first one was, but that was definitely one of the absolute cinema cards for sure. We see St. Croix is in the lobby, so we are just waiting the arrival of Martin Luther. Again, Martin Luther, the Spartans, the odds-on favorite to repeat as champions in Division 2, and they can really solidify their case with another strong regular season win against St. Croix. I believe they're facing Delavenderian at one point during the season. I think it's next week, if I'm not mistaken. But with schedule changes happening due to teams dropping out, that might have been changed, and that match might not be happening anymore. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go ahead and check back in on that aspect of it. But regardless, Martin Luther, again, just beating 4 teams within the top 12 of Division 2. And, that's one of the great marks for them on the season for sure. Now that I'm looking back at the winter 2025 week 5 triple header that we had due to certain circumstances, we had Whitefish Bay versus MSL, we had St. Croix versus Fox Valley, and then we had McGuanago versus Chippewa Falls. It was not Pacelli, it was Chippewa Falls. And for that St. Croix and Fox Valley match, I did watch that series back, and for Dalo and JMSN, they were just so close to defeating Fox Valley in a regular season. It was a series that won all 3 games, and it was one of those ones that St. Croix definitely wanted to have back. Dalo and JMSN line up a shot right for the net. It was open, and the ball just dropped when the clock hit triple zeros. With an extra couple seconds, I think we can comfortably say that St. Croix, very well could have pulled away with that series, and it was just unfortunate for them. And for them to drop the quarterfinal match to Port Washington last season, I mean, there is a lot left to be desired for St. Croix. I mean, they've already made state once in their lineage. They're looking to go back again, but I mean, against a team like Martin Luther, this is what feels like one of those highly regarded playoff matches, whether it be semifinal, even grand final, if St. Croix can make it that far. So, I mean, this matchup will be, yes, it'll be a comfortable test potentially for Martin Luther, but for St. Croix, this matters more to them because they get the experience against a top tier team such as Martin Luther. Do you believe Martin Luther's still warming up just a little bit more before we get this series started? So it looks like we will be going closer to 4 than closer to 350 with this. Is the scheduled time, at least to start by 4 p.m. Dalo is also in the lobby. I've heard that he has been casting for the team a little bit, or just spectating and giving team a little bit of tips as they go along. Yeah, Dalo doing great things over at UW River Falls. Happy to see him succeeding at the collegiate level as well. Definitely one of the best Lucia players I've seen. I think one day I'm gonna have to do a ranking of the best Wasia players that I've seen from a both a visual perspective and sort of that statistical perspective when it's all said and done. But I think definitely Yamo is up there for sure. I think Dalo's another great player. X-Ray too. Works Fire Swerves. I mean, you name it. There's so many great players in this league, and that's what keeps it alive. That's what keeps the discussions going between these teams. Is as this league materializes and matures even more, there's going to be so much history, and my job here is always to try to cover the history in the quickest and most efficient way I can possible. Just to have the new viewers coming in understand how we got to this point. There's a reason why I have the virtual notebook. That is to remind the general public who's just tuning in, this is what the team did back then, and this season. For the returning viewers, again, just sort of, award them for being here for so long, and just making things so much easier for them to say, hey, oh yeah, I remember this team when the Winter 2025 Championship. What have they done so far this season? Boom, we have something like that there. So definitely one of the highlights of this stream for sure is what we can do from a visual perspective in the pre-game phase, if you will. But it's awesome to really connect with so many people across the state of Wisconsin for this league. Everybody's in the lobby, and you know what that means. We are just about ready to go here. For Martin Luther versus St. Croix. Martin Luther will be in the blue, and the St. Croix Central Panthers will be in the orange. I know Johnny Wishbone is somewhere watching the stream, just fantasizing over the fact that St. Croix is on stream yet again, and we get underway with game number 1. Hyde beats Vxrus up in the air immediately. Dxrkfrost looking to cut off St. Croix's push. That's an immediate center. Yamo with the backflip, doing acrobatic things already. Dxrkfrost, a great center over the middle. Demo, but high chick there for the demo. Yamo looking to double tap immediately, just misses it though. Is Vxrus there? Oh, it's still a goal for Yamo regardless. Little bit of a scramble at the goal line, and Vxrus was just trying to put it in, but Yamo a great 50, but Sajobi, wrong place, wrong time there, and fortunately for Martin Luther, they still get the goal on the board. Yamo definitely wanted to get the double tap in there. Oh, they just cannot save it again. The Dxrkfrost hits Pater on the kickoff, a 50. Beautiful kickoff. And again, for St. Croix, Sajobi trying to save the ball again. Just trying to doink it off the post. That was the smartest play he could have done there. It's just unfortunate that the ball did not cooperate with him. So early 2-0 lead for the Spartans. Made some defensive miscues from the Panthers that they would definitely like to have back. Hyde misses it over the middle. Iris props it up for Yamo, and this team is fast and furious, especially in the air. They're very dangerous. I don't even know if that was a sort of pogo pinch, if you will, from Dxrkfrost. Vxrus hits it, and it's in. Just a beautiful shot over the middle, and Dxrkfrost too, creating chaos in that back line, just trying to flush out Sajobi, and Martin Luther has definitely been targeting him so far in this one. They know they can get a good look off the kickoff immediately. Dxrkfrost just putting more pressure on the Panthers. That's the thing about Martin Luther. If you let them get going early, they are basically impossible to stop here. So for St. Croix to be down 3-0, it's definitely a little bit of a concern. There is still a lot of time remaining, but again, a prodigy like Yamo is just going to show off a flip reset, a bump from Dxrkfrost, and it's just in for the Spartans. Just an elite level of ball concentration from Yamo, and a heads-up play from Dxrkfrost. I mean, they always tell me what's the color, and they always say it's green, and I agree, it always is green. I believe that is some kind of RLCS reference of some sort. So definitely makes sense for their team colors. Dxrkfrost leaving it for Vxrus. Vxrus off the back post. Yamo trying to fit it in. Can't seem to do it. Dxrkfrost with a 50 and already up 4-0 here. Martin Luther asserting their dominance. Vxrus gets bumped. Does not matter though, because Yamo just over the middle. Just a sharp shooter anywhere you place him. And in the air, he is deadly. So 5-0, 3:17 to go. And from the opening stages, I mean, St. Croix has had a couple miscues that backfire. That one just going to roll in for Vxrus, and Martin Luther is making a statement at this point. Still a whole 3 minutes of game time left, so I mean, you never really want to say things are over this early. And in St. Croix's defense, I mean, a bad start on defense. You know, some unfortunate circumstances from Sajobi, but again, it's just Martin Luther just pouring it on here. Vxrus a hat trick, 7-0 here. That's just a nice pass above the crossbar, and again, just this elite level team play from what we're seeing out of Martin Luther, and the confidence on this team is skyrocketed. They believe they can win any series that they put their mind to. See Hyde trying to save that one. Scrapes the ball off the backboard. Just looking to establish something on offense. Dxrkfrost gets it past one. Yamo's just there in transition of 50. Sajobi gonna have some space. High check over the middle, just missing it. It's propped up for Sajobi, but Vxrus, great defense there. Hyde put it center for a moment. Sajobi a nice 50. Dxrkfrost carrying it over the middle. High check tried to read that, tried to cut it off. Unsuccessful. Yamo passing it right down the Vxrus. What an interception. I believe that was Sajobi in the air, cutting that pass off, and that was an absolute beauty from Yamo and Vxrus. Just did not materialize the way that they wanted to. Sajobi demoed off by Dxrkfrost. Gotta say, so far, Dxrkfrost has been a great complementary piece for this Martin Luther squad. I know I mentioned Jornado's absence before, but I mean, Martin Luther has found something in Dxrkfrost for sure. Vxrus twirling in the air, doing whatever he wants. He's trying to drop it. He gets cut off by the crossbar though, and less than 140 to go in game one, and it's basically been all Martin Luther. And as I say that, Yamo again, 4 goals on 6 shots with 1 assist. Hychik kind of caught in no man's land. Sajobi no boost, trying to 50 Yamo, and that's a tough ask in and of itself. 1:36 and counting to go here. Hyde tries to get it past Vxrus, not able to. And Martin Luther, the number one thing for them is just to attack the net at all times. And when you're extremely confident on defense, anything's possible. 1:11 counting to go. Sajobi with the center. Oh, Hyde tried to put it through, but it was just above the crossbar. High check with no boost. Is gonna have to get back. Yamo demoed, I believe, the first time in game one. Vxrus with the center. Good backboard clear by Hyde. Again, Hyde, the 3rd-year starter on this team, a leader for the St. Croix Panthers, as Sajobi and Hychik are in their first year of Rocket League competition. They are juniors, but they did not play varsity Rocket League prior to the winter 2026 season. That's another adjustment for them to make for sure. But again, still a 9-1 team on the season, so definitely can't scoff at that. Multiple demos happening as I'm speaking here with 20 seconds to go in game one. Yamo just leaves it for Vxrus, and it's 9-0, 16 seconds to go. And just a beautiful setup, and you know, whatever Martin Luther wants to do, they can do it. I mean, they're just a Rubik's Cube that you cannot solve. 11 seconds and counting to go here. See if St. Croix can find an opening here. Yamo's just gonna go up and try to take this thing. Bounce it off the backboard, and Vxrus is there, and it's 10-0 with 3 seconds to go. Just making a statement out of game 1. And there it is, game 1 victory for Martin Luther, 10-0. And again, started with the 2 blunders with the kickoff goals. And that initial double tap by Yamo was just short, but again, Sajobi just trying to get there to help the team, accidentally putting the ball into the net definitely hurt them. And then on the kickoff too, just trying to bounce it off the left post, and then from there things just kind of snowballed away. And look at the stats for Martin Luther: 4 goals for Yamo, 5 for Vxrus, and 1 for Dxrkfrost. I mean, Dxrkfrost did a lot more than what his actual score says in terms of getting the the bumps and everything that the team needed as well for St. Croix. I mean, their backs were against the wall for the most part in that game 1, so let's see if they can keep things a little bit closer for game 2. Get off to a better start. And underway for game 2. Dxrkfrost immediately going up in the air. Sajobi trying to read him from below. Unable to really poke the ball away. Vxrus is patiently waiting off of the ceiling. Gonna put the shake and bake on early. Dxrkfrost demoed by Hyde immediately. Yamo goes up in the air, trying to create something for Vxrus, trying to put it in himself. Dxrkfrost comes over the middle. That's a save from Hyde. Dxrkfrost a demo on the high chick. Vxrus stalls just enough for Yamo. Didn't really have a good angle on that one. Hyde with great defense there. Dxrkfrost over the middle. Oh, Sajobi can't get there in time, and it's a goal for Dxrkfrost. The freshman edition just coming over the middle from half court, and yeah, Sajobi, that one just out of reach. Definitely a tough blow on defense. 4:19 to go in game 2. Sajobi on the kickoff. Vxrus patiently waiting. Knows one's coming. Flicks the ball over Hyde. Creates space for Martin Luther to attack on the offensive side. Here comes Yamo. It's deflected by Sajobi. Hyde sensed Yamo was coming over the middle, but Yamo gets the best of that 50, and now 2 players on the Panthers commit on the offensive side. Yamo flip reset. Now one's just through. Just through all of the traffic. And again, for Martin Luther, you don't want to just worry about the guy that's in the air. You need to worry about what's happening underneath as well, because this team has an offensive system that flows together so well. And that's the hard thing about Martin Luther. There's layers to attacking their offense, and this team definitely executes them very well. Dxrkfrost over the middle. Gets it set up. Oh, I tried to pinch it off the sidewall. It's a save on Vxrus' shot by Hychik. Yamo looking for a center. Dxrkfrost there. Pass it back to Yamo. Vxrus, the third man. He's just there. And when in doubt, when the second man can't make the play, there's a third man in Rocket League, and Yamo just making sure he's out of the way of the play so Vxrus can just come in and secure the score for the Spartans. 3-0, 3:16 to go. Dxrkfrost. Yamo underneath. And it's just the quickness of this team right on the kickoff. There is no snoozing of an alarm for Martin Luther. I mean, when time comes for them to strike, they strike. Dxrkfrost flip reset over the middle. Vxrus right underneath, just carrying this one as well. Good defense from the Panthers. I mean, anything you save against Martin Luther is impressive because these guys are just so mechanically gifted in the game of Rocket League. That one open for a second. High chick way into the net. It's something you don't want to see on a consistent level for sure. Net's open, and Yamo's there to take it. Just a terrific center there from Vxrus, and Yamo, clear as day, puts the goal in for the Spartans. Dxrkfrost demo on the high chick. Joby took a 50 with Yamo. Yamo gets the best of it. Vxrus centering off the backboard. Trying to go for a double tap. And now Martin Luther's been trying to go for that so far in the series. Oh, but, you know, if the conventional things work, why not, you know, just let it be. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. Yamo, center over the middle. Takes the 50 with Hyde, and Dxrkfrost there. Right place, right time. Yamo the 50 on the kickoff. Goes Vxrus, high check the save. Yamo. 2 flip resets in a row. Did that at state. Oh, Vxrus just off the crossbar. Yamo looking for a double. St. Croix just not going to allow it at all. Vxrus looked to go for the slight double touch off the left side wall to prop up the center. Vxrus, oh my, what a move that was. Just hitting the ball with the back of his car while going sideways. That's insane. That's open for the moment. Vxrus can't fit it through. Off the right corner post. Yamo, deep punt. He demos to Joby. That one's going to fall down. Yamo on no boost. Going to look to steal the Panthers boost. He does successfully. Vxrus pops it up for Yamo. Dxrkfrost hits it away accidentally, but maybe that was part of the plan. Vxrus, the center, he might just take it, and he will. The demo from Dxrkfrost. Again, like I was saying before, there's a multi-layer system here with Martin Luther. It's kind of like the components of a cell. I mean, you've got, you know, the cell membrane, the mitochondria, and whatever else you want to throw in that sentence. Yamo there over the middle, and it's just through again. 7-0, 48 seconds to go in game 2, and they have not allowed the Panthers to score once so far. See if that trend holds up. As much of a statement as Martin Luther is making in this series, and you can't take away the fact that St. Croix is definitely giving their all on defense despite their circumstances. Dxrkfrost just eagerly waiting the demo high chick. It's a centered ball for St. Croix. Hyde launches it over the crossbar, and Sajobi puts it in for the Panthers, and that might be an announcer's jinx there, but St. Croix prevents the shutout. Puts it right over Vxrus, and, you know, good for Sajobi. Had a couple tough breaks within these first 2 games of the series on defense. And finds his way into the net against Martin Luther, which is very hard to do. Oh, Yamo's kickoff goal not in. Bouncing off the right post. Vxrus takes a 50. Good pinch hit. Net's open, and Vxrus just going to take it for another hat trick. About 15 seconds to go in game 2. Yamo with the bump on the high chick immediately following the kickoff. Vxrus, Dxrkfrost trying to connect. Hyde with the save. He's got 3 for the game. Sajobi looking to put one more in. Yamo with the stop. And it is an 8-1 game 2 victory for Martin Luther on series points against St. Croix. And, well, you're St. Croix. You say, well, we held them 2 less goals and we got a goal on the board. take the small victories when you can against such an amazing team like Martin Luther. On the side of Martin Luther, they're riding the momentum high on the side of St. Croix. I mean, if you want to attempt to come back in this series, the number one thing you're going to have to do is cut off the airspace for Martin Luther. And you're going to have to get off to good starts. Because again, once you let these guys have a lead, Martin Luther will just keep snowballing it on top of you. Hyde, kickoff, goal immediately. And the Panthers are up 1-0. As I just said about 5 seconds ago, you've got to have a good starter for St. Croix, and there it is. But, it's another thing to have an endurance factor to keep yourself going with a lead. So we'll see what happens on the second kickoff goal, and St. Croix almost struck lightning twice. Somebody there for Martin Luther to stop it in its tracks. Hyde with a 50. Lose it for Dxrkfrost. Hyde a full tank of boost. Hyde bumping Vxrus out of the play. Yamo gets bumped. Hyde. Passed it a little bit too far away from the teammate below him. Vxrus looking for a double. Just leaves it on the backboard for Yamo. But Yamo soars to the skies. Dxrkfrost there. A good cutoff from Hyde. Vxrus going in the air as well. And again, just too much. I was about to say too much firepower on the side of Martin Luther. I thought that ball was just going to roll out. But again, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That is the forehead stamped motto that I'm seeing from Martin Luther here on offense. As long as there's boost in the tank, they can do anything they want. Yamo over the middle gets cut off by the crossbar. Otherwise, that would have been a very powerful shot going into the net. Yamo looking for something here. Flip reset. Oh, what a save from Hyde. Sajobi right behind Vxrus. Vxrus wisely cutting that off before Sajobi can have any airspace to attack that one. Hyde can have to make a save. Does so. Dxrkfrost looking to maintain control of the ball. He does. Vxrus just right there to take it. It's centered. Yamo there to put it through, and Martin Luther takes the 2-1 lead in game 3. After much deliberation, at one point we can say that St. Croix had a lead in a single game here, but Martin Luther making sure they regain the lead. Yamo with the center. Vxrus gonna look to quickly turn around, but Yamo keeps control of the ball. Vxrus bumps 2, and it's still in. Dxrkfrost. Vxrus just occupying the net long enough, and Dxrkfrost there to make the play. .327 to go here with a 3-1 lead for the Spartans. Vxrus a double flip reset. Oh my goodness. Just parks it, and Dxrkfrost there for the goal. Again, St. Croix, one of those lightning in the bottle moments, but again, on defense, it's just so hard to stop Martin Luther. They'll get creative. Even when they don't have boosts, they'll find a way to get the ball in the net. A little over 3 minutes to go. Vxrus propping it up. Yamo down there. Oh my goodness. What a play. I was just shooting that one up, shooting it to Yamo. Yamo takes a 50, but Vxrus just right place, right time. How do they do this? It's just insane. Yamo losing track of the ball. Sajobi looking to center this one a little bit high, and Martin Luther has the ability to soar the skies here. High chick gonna have to rotate back. Vxrus the demo on the Sajobi. Dxrkfrost and Vxrus losing where the ball is, but Vxrus takes control, centers it. High chick there. Hide quickly on that one. Oh, he had an angle for a second. Demo on the Dxrkfrost. Sajobi with the center. Yamo there to take it away from the Panthers. Vxrus the center. Is anybody up? Oh, Dxrkfrost the demo on the high chick. Vxrus propping this one up. Sajobi caught no man's land. Vxrus shoots it just off the right post. Sajobi gets knocked out of the play. It's an open net for Dxrkfrost if he can hit it. Oh no, and Yamo accidentally hitting that one. 147 and counting here. Yamo looking to hit some kind of clip. High check with the save. Hyde puts it over Dxrkfrost, but Dxrkfrost makes the play. Sajobi underneath. That's saved by Yamo as well. St. Croix just trying to fight to put another goal on the board. Sajobi has an opening for a moment, but Yamo shuts it down in its tracks. Dxrkfrost over the middle. It's 50 by High Chick. Sajobi just trying to juke out Yamo. Might have a better chance finding the center, but Tootsie Pop. Save from Hyde. Sajobi, oh, just out of reach. Dxrkfrost just clearing that away. Hyde a save. Yamo just right back on the net. All three St. Croix defenders in the same spot. That's been a common theme so far. St. Croix against Martin Luther. 40 seconds to go. Vxrus still maintaining control of the ball. Loses it for a second. Sajobi the 50. Again, favorable bounce for the Spartans. Dxrkfrost in the air. Demo. Dxrkfrost, the shot is cleared away. Sajobi launching this one. Yamo in position to make the save. Just makes it look so easy every single time. St. Croix not backing down here. They want a second goal. Are they going to get it? Yes, they will. Hyde cuts the deficit 3 with 16 seconds to go, and Vxrus just over the middle. Just a bad decision there. Hyde takes advantage of it. There are only 16 seconds left, so see what happens. Martin Luther obviously just trying to play time with the clock here if they can. Hyde over the middle. That's another goal for St. Croix. So, I mean, they do have a slight chance here if they get a couple more good kickoffs. So 5-3 is the tally here for game 3, and we'll count out St. Croix just yet until these 9 seconds are out. Joby and Hyde. Gonna put another one on the board. Dxrkfrost shuts the door on that one. It's still up. Dxrkfrost the demo against Hyde. Vxrus looking to just have this ball drop. Dxrkfrost keeping it up in the air. Vxrus. Oh, they're just gonna take one for the road. Why not? 6-3 for a final score in game 3. Dxrkfrost, beautiful pass, and just right place, right time for Vxrus, and we can now say that Martin Luther has defeated St. Croix 3-0 to advance to 11-0 on the season, 33-1 game record. GG's, hats off to both teams for sure in this one. Martin Luther coming out on top. So we will go ahead and get things ready for our second match, Waukesha West versus Whitefish Bay. So I will step away for a few moments to get everything set up. So I will be back. Stay tuned, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the stream. We will have Waukesha West versus Whitefish Bay as our 5 p.m. time slotted match. So we'll get started very earlier than that, around maybe 4:35 ish or something like that. I can tell you that both of these teams have completed their 4 p.m. matches. Waukesha West beating Hartford Union 3-0, and then Whitefish Bay taking out Bayport 3-0. So obviously, as I've said before, these note sheets are made prior to the 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. time slots of a given week. So they are a little bit outdated now. So you can go ahead and give Waukesha West a 10-1, 31-5 game record, and you can give Whitefish Bay an 11-0 and 33-0 record. But despite that, we will still go through the note sheets for those who are unfamiliar with both of these teams. So for Waukesha West, starting roster: Dxrkfrost Jr. and Swerves Jr. co-captains. Fire a grand champion 2, Swerves a champion 3. Schmitty, their new third, senior champion 3, and Juice Spix, their sub, who's a freshman. Winter 2025 stats for the Wolverines: 13-1 overall, 40-7 game record. They finished third out of 24 teams in Division 1. They had the number 3 seed. They got wins against the following teams: Green Bay Southwest, number 11 McGuanago, number 7 Sheboygan South, and then a loss to Case Walden 3-0 to finish as the runner-up of the Winter 2025 Division 1 playoffs. This season, again, they have that 10-0 and 31-5 game record. So on the track record right now for weeks 1 through 5, you can see on the screen. Forfeit win versus Oak Creek, win versus Fox Valley. Week 2 wins against Bayport Whitnell Falcons. Week 3 and week 4, as you see the blue text, FOS means featured on stream. So for week 3, Waukesha West defeated Wausau West, say that one 5 times fast, 3-2 in a series where the Wolverines were down 2-0 at one point. We were questioning if Waukesha West was going to come back in the series or if Wausau West was going to shut the door in game 3. But, to the chagrin of everybody, Waukesha West came out on top 3-2. They're a hard-nosed team. I was really surprised by that. Win versus Racine Unified also in week 3. Week 4, they beat Elkhorn 3-0, but then they lost 3-1 to the Cedarburg Bulldogs on stream. And Cedarburg Bulldogs have a guy from Walmart named Bob. Everybody's, known that now if you watch that stream. So definitely going to be looking out for Cedarburg for sure in terms of the playoff push. And for week 5, wins against Kettle Moraine and Appleton East. And again, they had that win earlier on today against Hartford Union. Roster moves for Waukesha West. They retained Fire and Swerve, and they lost Banana Man due to graduation. Whitefish Bay Blue Dukes, Division 1. First time they've been on stream for a little while. I believe the last time we had them on stream was for either their Port Washington series or their MSL series from Winter 25. Starting roster consists of Go Milbrew, their senior, Grand Champion 2, Wi-Fi Junior, Grand Champion 1, Tagneg Junior, Champion 1, and their sub Badger Niner, sophomore Diamond 3. In Winter 2025, regular season 11-2 overall, 33-8 game record. They finished second out of 21 teams in Division 2. They were the number 4 seed, and they got wins against the following teams: Freedom Irish, Grafton, 3-2. Grafton was such a scrappy team last season. Semifinal loss to Martin Luther, and as a result of that, they were in the 3rd place game against Port Washington, where they lost. And they finished 4th in the Winter 2025 Division 2 playoffs. For Winter 2026, 11-0, 33-0 game record. They're currently still first in Division 1 standings. For week 1, they took down Whitnell and Kettle Moraine. Kettle Moraine, forfeit win. Week 2, wins against Kimberly and Sheboygan South. At that time, Sheboygan South was a solid team. That's why they're highlighted in yellow. They had a couple forfeit, losses the previous week. Hopefully things are situated there for that team. Week 3, wins against Wisconsin Lutheran, and their biggest win yet, a 3-0 sweep against Madison West in week 3. Week 4, wins against Waukesha South and Hartford Union. Week 5, wins against Port Washington and Fox Valley. For roster moves, they retained Go Milbrew, Tagneg, and Wi-Fi, and they lost Lupa to graduation, and they added Badger Niner as their subs. That's all the notes I have for Waukesha West and Whitefish Bay. But we'll go ahead and get both teams in here rather shortly. Just wanted to have some time to sprinkle in a little bit of knowledge to the viewers as far as both of these teams go. I aim to do that with every stream, and I hope everybody enjoys that. Sometimes I forget to update some portions of the note sheets, and that's fine. That comes with having done some things like this and just putting everything together in a timely manner. So sometimes a little bit of hiccups happen, but for the most part, they are generally accurate, and very happy that again I can put something together for that like that for the viewers watching. Okay, so we have the lobby information out. We'll go ahead and change the scene on the stream. Again, first time for Whitefish Bay being on the stream during winter 2026, and it was the first time we had Martin Luther on the stream in winter 2026. And with that being said, if you did not catch the first match of the week 6 doubleheader, we had Martin Luther versus St. Croix. Martin Luther taking a 3-0 victory, and a 10-0 game 1 win, and an 8-1 game 2 win, and then a 6-3 game 3 win. 1 point St. Croix led in game 3 after an early kickoff goal. But again, Martin Luther making sure they don't drop another game this season, although they did drop one to Barron in week 5. So a little bit of a blemish on their game record, but they are still definitively number 1 in Division 2. As far as this one, for Waukesha West, this is a pivotal matchup for them considering they lost to Cedarburg in week 4. Again, as we're waiting for both the teams, I'll sort of throw up the standings once again as we're waiting for the arrival of these teams. But if you look real closely here, I mean, Cedarburg slotted at number 2 even before today. So, and then Madison West as well is there too. So definitely some good competition here for the number 1 seed in Division 1. But for Whitefish Bay, if they lose this game, that is going to be huge for the rest of the division. As far as the top 5 teams go with, Cedarburg, Madison West, Waukesha West, and Wausau West. So we're definitely going to be watching this game very closely to see how things are going to shake out within the division. So for Whitefish Bay, for them to sort of lock up this number 1 seed, this is going to be a must-win contest. But I mean, against Waukesha West, I mean, this team, at one point again, I keep saying the same narratives over and over again, but it's just the facts that against Wausau West back in week 3, they were down 2-0, and everybody was shocked at that. And the Wolverines were able to scratch and claw themselves back to a 3-2 victory. So Waukesha West can overcome the best teams. It's just they need to have consistency on the defensive side. They need to be able to hold on to the leads as well, because in the Cedarburg series, there were a couple instances where they were up a couple goals, and Cedarburg just came right back at them. And again, for Cedarburg, you definitely don't want to give them opportunities because they are going to shut you down right in your tracks. So I believe we're just waiting for the arrival of Whitefish Bay. Before we get things kicked off with our second match of the Week 6 doubleheader. Yeah, this should be an entertaining series for sure. Definitely one that I could see going all 5 games, but we will just have to see what happens. So, Waukesha West again in the lobby, led by Fire and Swerves. They're two players who have just done tremendous work since the team entered the scene back in winter 2023. In 2024 and 2025 definitely had some success, but they are just missing one critical piece to their lineage, and that is a state championship. And they want to get to that point this season, but there is another team in Whitefish Bay who has been clawing for a championship as well. And again, from Coach Cassis from Whitefish Bay, he tells me that he would say that his team has not faced a lot of adversity this year. That can be good or bad, as you need adversity to learn from your mistakes and be better for them. I am proud of my team for such high level play through the first 10 games, and we are looking to continue that. Our team and the players have been to state the past 2 years, and we haven't had the results we wanted. We believe we are strong contenders this year and are taking each week and each game one at a time, hopefully finishing February with the title. So, I mean, that message from the coach of Whitefish Bay just tells you how bought in the players are to eventually get their state championship that they are working for. And the way to do it is you got to beat the best teams, and they beat Madison West. So you're going to have to keep that momentum going for themselves here. So we'll switch back to the in-game scene. As you guys had hopefully a good look at the division standings for 1 and 2 prior to the start of week 6. And we are still awaiting the arrival of Whitefish Bay. Looks as though they still might be warming up. Not sure why Waukesha West just left. All right, let me go ahead and see what's going on here for a second. I will be right back. Okay, so guess word on the street is Waukesha West is in a competitive match, trying to get themselves warmed up a little bit more for the Waukesha West and Whitefish Bay series. That says both of the teams have gone in and went to play a Comp 3's game, so a little bit longer of a wait for the series to start. So go ahead and take another quick break, and I will be back when both of the teams are in the lobby. Stay tuned, everybody. We will get the series started eventually, so stay tuned, everybody. All right, just like that, everybody is in, and we are just about ready to go here. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game one between Waukesha West versus Whitefish Bay. And we are underway. Techneg the demo on Earth's Fire. Center immediately. Schmitty the demo onto Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi rocking the CSA clan tag. He is a part of the Car Soccer Association, which is another smaller league for collegiate level students. Got teams from all around the United States. Swerves the demo on the Go Milber. See Wi-Fi rocking with the Dominus. Go Milber looking for the save. Swerves the shot that gets knocked away by Techneg. And again, both of these teams mechanically gifted. Schmitty the demo on the Techneg. You'll see a lot of demos in this one for sure. Swerves with this possible center. Not able to make much of it. Go Milbrew attempting to do something off the left ball. It's a beat by Dxrkfrost. Now Swerves looking to set something up for the team. Techneg looking to drop it down below, but Go Milbrew. Demo, Dxrkfrost, double tap, and it's in for the Wolverines. Well, Yamo tried to hit a double tap. He was unsuccessful, but Dxrkfrost says, hold my beer, and we've got a double tap here from Waukesha West. Swerves. Going to try to build off of the lead provided by his teammate Dxrkfrost. Schmitty missing it. Techneg. Not going to get the boost, but it gets stolen. Wi-Fi demoed. Swerves gets blocked off. Swerves trying to create more chaos in Whitefish Bay's backline. Schmitty limited boost, not able to hit it. Oh, gets popped up by Go Milbrew. Dxrkfrost there for the center. Schmitty is still in position to do something here. Twirls around. Carries the ball. Dxrkfrost comes off the right wall. Bounces it up. Techneg reads it. Put it in Wolverine's territory, at least for the moment. Go Milbrew, a nice shot over the middle. Dxrkfrost looking for the flip reset. That's saved by Wi-Fi. Go Milbrew. Gonna just throw off Waukesha West, and that's another thing too you got to do against Waukesha West. Just throw them off, but can't give the ball to him as Swerves will make you pay for it. And a nice heads-up play over the middle. Techneg trying to save that one in transition. Kind of had to stop at an awkward angle and not able to save it. 2-0 lead for Waukesha West in a must-win game for them. They want to try to get a 1 or a 2 seed in the playoffs. Center Dxrkfrost over the middle. That's saved by Wi-Fi. He's already got 3 saves in this one. Halfway through game 1, Schmitty tried to anticipate where the ball was, not able to get it to go. Go Milbrew, a nice 50 off that right side wall. Swerves to the center. Might have tried to score that himself. Takes 2. Fire. The pinch. Swerves looking to cause more chaos. Again, just try to generate some confusing looks that'll benefit them against this Blue Dukes defense. Already got 2 on the board. Wi-Fi looking to close in on a goal. Dxrkfrost just there for the clear. 1:35 and counting to go. A pinch from Wi-Fi. Tagneg was over the middle, could not connect. Wi-Fi. There goes Dxrkfrost, getting it past 1. Schmitty with the center. Swerves playing the third man, wisely rotating back. Goal Milbrew has to make the adjustment towards the corner. Swerves with a bump. Swerves. In the same instance, almost scored. Tagneg the save. Schmitty. It's rejected by Wi-Fi, and Waukesha West not slowing down on offense. Just trying to chew the clock. The most important asset in Rocket League is time. Comes in your favor when you have a lead, and it'll be your worst enemy when you're down multiple goals. And that's a third one for the Wolverines. Second for Swerves. And just a nice read off the sidewall, just realizing that nobody from Whitefish Bay knew where that ball was going. Jumps on it immediately, and that's the team a 3-0 lead here in game 1 with 30 seconds to go. Taking the pass over the middle. Go Milbrew had an opening, but Dxrkfrost with the save. It's another center opportunity, but Waukesha West eager to get that away. Dxrkfrost the demo. That's a center opportunity. Tagneg not able to connect with the ball. Still center. Wi-Fi leaves it up, but Dxrkfrost and crew there to make a play. And it's a 3-0 game 1 victory for Waukesha West. And they had a nice start early on with an Dxrkfrost double tap, and Swerves just making the correct reads in transition on defense and on offense as well. For the side of Whitefish Bay, Wi-Fi with 4 saves, Tagneg with 1. No goals, only 1 shot on net. That is the major concern here for rooting for the Blue Dukes here, is they have to generate consistent offense, and it's hard to do when you give Waukesha West a great start on offense and you just let them generate pressure however they want. Tagneg leaving that one. We thought somebody was going to push up on that. Dxrkfrost the save. Go Milbrew has to make an acrobatic effort for the clear. Tagneg missing the ball. Wi-Fi gets beat by Dxrkfrost. It's an easy center. Go Milbrew's there. But again, Waukesha West going to continue to punish this Blue Dukes defense. Margin for error at this point is razor thin. On the side of Whitefish Bay, they're no longer undefeated in terms of a game record. Schmitty. Oh, what a read! And that's just in for the Wolverines. Third man taking the spot from Banana Man after he graduated, just reading the ball so well off of the ground. And the satisfying thing when you hit the ball like that, you just wait until it just comes off of the ground. Get an extra boost with the hit as well. Go Milbrew trying to do the same thing, almost did. trying to generate some sort of offense for his team, but Waukesha West is just shutting everything down. Oh, swerves! Schmitty! Oh, that would have been a nice moment there for the Wolverines to get that second goal. That was a brilliant setup. Oh, but Wi-Fi ties things up at 1. After avoiding potential disaster on defense, Wi-Fi, right place, right time, and, you know, just reading Schmitty's carry over the net. And, you know, when you try to carry the ball over the net like that, it's still in position for the opposition to score. I mean, it's definitely a costly mistake for sure if you're Waukesha West, but Schmitty off of the left wall, looking to pass that one. Dxrkfrost, who's just there coming across from the right side. And we've got fireworks everywhere. Speaking of which, the man who scored right there, Dxrkfrost. 3:39 to go, 2-1 lead for Waukesha West in game 2. This one far from over, though. Tegneg. It's a pass swerve. Wi-Fi gets beat by Dxrkfrost. Dxrkfrost with some time. Doesn't have boost, but gets it over Go Milbrew. Does not matter, though. Gets it over 2. Swerves. Coming across that left side. Looking for some sort of passing opportunity. For Whitefish Bay, you're not really seeing a lot of aggression come out of them on the offensive side. It could be A, because of being boost starved, and, you know, B, they don't really have the looks that they want on offense. That is because Waukesha West is just making the ball their own. Just putting their logo on it and saying, this is our ball, this is what we want to do. No one's going to stop us. Go Milbrew demo. Schmitty swerves, just backs that one in. This a great read from Swerve. Just puts it back near Whitefish Bay's net, and it results in a goal. 3-1 here. 2:35 to go. Go Milbrew the demo, but no one there to follow up for the Blue Dukes. Oh no. And Swerves with the goal. Wi-Fi just trying to be there for the save, accidentally hits it in, and oh man. Well, hey, if it was for the other goal, that would have been a terrific redirect. 4-1 score here. 2:30 to go. Schmitty gets demoed, although the ball is in center position for the Wolverines to attack. Tegneg with a beautiful clear above that crossbar. Oh, Wi-Fi tried to connect with Go Milbrew over the middle. Might try to rekindle the same magic. The ball's going to gently waterfall down. Swerves. Great composure in that moment. Tegneg soaring the skies, but Dxrkfrost there to at least collect the ball himself, get it away from the Wolverines' net. Wi-Fi, nice clear. Tegneg there, but Swerves with a resounding clear. Swerves the demo on the Wi-Fi. That one might just go off the backboard. It does. Dxrkfrost, oh my goodness. Puts another one in, and for the Blue Dukes defense, I mean, Wi-Fi Tegneg caught up in the same spot. Tegneg did hit the ball. I'm not really sure how that didn't register, but regardless, Dxrkfrost makes sure the ball goes through. It's 5-1, 1:36 to go. Go Milbrew going off the right side wall, gets another touch. It's a center. Oh, impossible double tap, but it's off the crossbar. No good. Wi-Fi shot no good as well. Oh, but Tegneg's there as the third man for the Blue Dukes. And man, that would have been disastrous for the mental of Whitefish. Wouldn't have even been able to score that one. I mean, it's 1:20 to go, so a little bit of time left, but down 3. I mean, it's really going to be tough to come back here. Do you like the car that, or the car design, I should say, that Dxrkfrost went with this skin and whatnot, the color scheme just being suited up because they knew his team was going to be on stream for a third time, and you know that rarely happens in these Pacelli Rocket League streams. But for the Wolverines in particular, I mean, it is well deserved. They are one of the more respected teams in Pacelli, so I definitely don't mind having them on for a third time for sure. Schmitty with the dem on the go, Milbrew. And that shot almost in again for Dxrkfrost. Less than 40 to go. Waukesha West just looking to choose some clock. Go Milbrew. Couple of touches. Tag Neg in position. Go Milbrew can't get the center off though and swerves. Demo. Oh my. Tag Neg and Wi-Fi just deleted from the map. Waukesha West is not allowing anything to go in, and Waukesha West was not able to have this sort of confidence against Cedarburg, and the reason why is because Cedarburg was doing all kinds of miraculous things on offense and threw off Waukesha West. But for the Wolverines, they have definitely done their homework on Whitefish Bay, and you know, as these series go on, these teams just try to make little micro adjustments to each other, and what we're seeing in Waukesha West is they're sticking to what they know most, and that is playing outstanding defense, as they're up 2-0 on series points against the number 1 seeded team right now in Division 1. And this win again would just be so huge for Waukesha West's chance to be in at least the top 3 in terms of seeding, guarantee at least top 4 for seeding purposes. We're going to have to see how the rest of the league has been doing after the conclusion of this series, because we'll go on to the Pacelli Fenworks page and check out all the standings upon the conclusion of our second match in the Week 6 doubleheader. Milbrew. Strong start for the Blue Dukes. Schmitty, Demo on the tag neg. Wi-Fi with a bump. Go Milbrew. Off the right post, and now it's back to defense. Tag neg. Oh, they're losing the control of the ball, and Swerves credited with the goal. It's just all over the place on defense for Whitefish Bay, and that's just so unfortunate. We talk about transitional defense a lot on these streams, and you've got to have it at this level of competitive Rocket. And for Whitefish Bay, they're just unfortunate. It's a turn of events there. They're down 1 again. We know how good Waukesha West is at holding a lead. I mean, Big Brother Waukesha South did that for a couple of years once upon a time, and Waukesha West has sort of rekindled that spirit, although Big Brother and Waukesha West, 2 completely different teams in 2 completely different eras of Pacelli Rocket. But it goes to show that Waukesha can produce teams that, you know, are very, very good when it counts the most. See, go Milbrew. Trying to get a little bit of creative with the way he's hitting the ball. But again, Waukesha West back on the offense immediately, and there just seems to be no third man there consistently enough for Whitefish Bay. I mean, it's one thing to try to set something up on offense, but if there's no third man there, there's no real way to get things going here to prevent the Wolverines from, you know, doing basically what they want on the offensive side. Double commits are definitely the bane of any Rocket League team's existence. I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable, but for the most part, you know, it just comes down to the small details as well in these best of 5 series. Oh, Milbrew has boost. Can't get it over Swerves, though. Had enough groundwork to get something from that. Go Milbrew. Just missing the ball. Wi-Fi gets demoed. Tegneg launching it over the middle, but Dxrkfrost just sitting there, just knowing he has a ton of time to flick this thing up, but Wi-Fi leaving it for Go Milbrew. Gets the beat, and oh, what a save from Swerves. That corner read. Fire beats Wi-Fi to the ball. Leaves it for Schmitty. Swerves going up. Full tank of boosts. Gets 50'd by Go Milbrew. Wi-Fi just missing the ball. Swerve centering it. No one else coming over the middle. Earthfire going up in the air. Oh, tried to maybe fit it through on a tight angle. Not able to do it though. It's a chance for Whitefish Bay to maybe get back into this one. Go Milbrew again, but it's just so little time for the Blue Dukes to do anything on offense. It's just because Waukesha West just swarming everything, and Erksfire gets demoed. Erksfire demoed again. Whitefish Bay is definitely labeled public enemy number 1 at this point. Go Milbrew accidentally bumping Wi-Fi, and now things again are just turning upside down for Whitefish Bay as Wi-Fi luckily there for the save, but again, as they're pinned on defense, Waukesha West is just wasting so much time on the clock. Go Milbrew with the save. Again, Whitefish Bay has to try to generate something on offense. Have to create some more demos, if you will. Have to play cleaner, and it's hard to make those adjustments mid-game, but again, it's just something that you have to work on throughout the series. And you know, for this matchup right now is the do or die point for Whitefish Bay, as Waukesha West on series point again. Another bump, accidental, but again, it's just these little minor errors that Blue Dukes are having that's just setting them back. And less than a minute to go here, Waukesha West still up 2-0. Swerve just trying to outpace the Blue Dukes. Got 40 seconds to go here. Gonna have to do something. Swerves just demoing Wi-Fi, and Go Milbrew just opening things up. A good 50 though by Tegnic. Less than 30 to go, and again, Waukesha West just winding that clock down. Milbrew looking to get something within these last few seconds. That ball goes over Wi-Fi. Go Milbrew the save, but again, down to mere seconds here. Trying to put something on the board and maybe get a good kickoff goal. Oh, they're not going to be able to do it. Nope. Schmitty shuts the door. Swerve's going up in the air, just trying to hit this ball down. And it's down. Waukesha West winning 3-0 against the number 1 team heading into today in Division 1. Waukesha West are 11-1 on the season, 34-5 game record. So if you thought Waukesha West was out of contention for possibly the number 1 seed, well, think again. Any given Tuesday, as they say, Whitefish Bay will drop to 11-1 themselves as well. So I mean, they might still have it based on game record. But, I mean, Waukesha West is closer to reaching a top 3 seed. It might not get the 1 seed, depending on how Whitefish Bay has performed and will perform in week 7. But we've still got one more week to definitively figure things out. And Waukesha West just giving themselves another chance, another crack at possibly a higher seed than number 4. What a doubleheader today. 2 big victories for Martin Luther and Waukesha West. So we'll go ahead and look at the standings here in a moment. Go ahead and get things situated. And again, we always want to have the 5-game series always happen, but sometimes it's just awesome to see sort of those statement wins from those teams that you really don't think have the odds-on chance to win a matchup, and then they just come back and they sweep a number 1 seeded team. So, I mean, hats off to all 4 of the teams who competed today in the week 6 doubleheader. We only have 1 more week of regular season left for winter 2026, which is crazy to think about. It feels like we just got the season started. It's always the saddest part for sure to get at that very end of the last regular stream before state. So we've got week 7, and then we've got first round of playoffs, and then quarterfinals left on the docket for us. But we will, as always, go ahead and look at the WCFN Works page to see what has happened, what chaos has sparked around the league since I last checked in on this earlier this morning before all these matches started. Trying to get the web page to load here. It's giving me a little bit of trouble, so might be a little bit longer here. Yeah, we've had some great matchups on the stream so far, and for week 7, we'll have a couple more great ones on the docket for sure. Okay, so we have everything set up. Go. Okay, so we will look at week 6, round 1 for both Division 1 and Division 2. If you see Group 1 and Group 2, this is just what they're called in Fenworks. So this is Division 1, and this down here is Division 2 for first time viewers who have never seen the overview of the standings as we end these doubleheader live streams. So for Division 1, Whitefish Bay with a 3-0 victory against Bayport, Waukesha West with a victory over Sheboygan South, Cedarburg 3-0 against Madison West. Okay, so this is definitely a score to definitely look at for sure. Let's go ahead and look at this a little bit more. Oh, wow, that was a close series. Wow. Okay, so close 3-0 there. That's what I was expecting for that series. So, but Cedarburg coming out on top 3-0, and Cedarburg, definitely a very legitimate team that could win Division 1. There's so many teams that you could say will win Division 1. I mean, you've got Cedarburg, you've got Whitefish Bay, you've got Waukesha West, you've got Waukesha West as a dark horse candidate. So these playoffs will definitely be interesting in terms of how they play out for sure. I'm very excited to see how it's going to all play out. Racing Unified getting a victory against Appleton East. So shout out to Racing Unified. As some of you may know, I'm an alumnus of Fort Lake High School, so always happy to see Racing Unified doing well. Wisconsin Lutheran taking down Whitnall 3-1. Waukesha West 3-0 victory against Hartford. Fox Valley 3-0 against Kettle Moraine, and Elkhorn and Port Washington receiving forfeit victories. Waukesha South and Kimberly High School, respectively, for Division 2. Deerfield 3-0 against Random Lake. Rolay Turner 3-0 against Williams Bay. Rhinelander 3-1 against Little Wolf. Okay, so this is another interesting score here. We'll see how things shaped out. Okay, so 5-0 in game 1 and close throughout the rest of it. Okay. Well, that's definitely a great win for Rhinelander as a startup school in Wasilla, their inaugural season. That's definitely one to hang your hat on for sure if you're the Hodags. Wautoma 3-0 against Brookfield Academy. Sevastopol 3-0 against Gibraltar. Delvenderian 3-0 against Thorpe. Martin Luther 3-0 against St. Croix, our 4 p.m. match today. Barron 3-0 against Freedom, another solid team. St. Lawrence Seminary with an upset against Pacelli. Wow. This was another close series too. Okay. Interesting. So that's a credible win for St. Lawrence Seminary, I would say. Nakusa and Phillips getting forfeit wins. Stanley Boyd and Seymour. And we will go to week 6, round 2. Wisconsin Lutheran Madison West. That game has not been played yet. Oh, I mean, it probably has, just hasn't been recorded in the system. Sheboygan South 3-0 against Bayport. Fort Washington 3-0 against Kettle Moraine. Fox Valley 3-0 against Whitnall. Waukesha West 3-0 against Whitefish Bay in our 5 p.m. slotted stream. And again, huge win for Waukesha West. They needed that one. Hartford Union 3-1 victory against RUSD. Elkhorn 3-0 against Appleton East. Wausau West and Cedarburg both benefiting from forfeit wins from Kimberly and Waukesha South. For Division 2, Martin Luther on their way to a 3-0 victory against Thorpe. Delvenderian 3-0 against Gibraltar. Gibraltar is such a scrappy team as well as Wautoma. Brookfield 3-0 against Random Lake. Pacelli 3-0 against Williams Bay. Barron 3-0 against the Sevastopol Carball Cowboys. St. Croix 3-0 against Rhinelander. I'm just curious to see how that 3-0 series ended up. Okay, so St. Croix dominant. Okay. Thought maybe Rhinelander was going to give them a little bit of a little bit of run for their money, but St. Croix, I definitely wanted to get at least one win in this week 6 slot. St. Lawrence Seminary going 2-0 on the week as they take down Beloit Turner, and Wautoma 3-0 against Deerfield, and forfeit wins for Little Wolf, Freedom, and Stanley Boyd, respectively. So we will go into looking at the standings here. So Cedarburg, definitively number one with a 12-0 record. Didn't want to say prematurely that they were going to be number one. They had Madison West. I knew that earlier on, but since they went 2-0 this week, they are 12-0, definitively the number one seed as of right now. Waukesha West slotted in at the 2 slot, 11-1, followed by Whitefish Bay, 11-1, Madison West 9-2 as of right now, Wausau West 9-2, FBL 9-3, Elkhorn 8-4, Wisconsin Lutheran 7-4, Hartford Union 7-5, Sheboygan South 5-7, Whitnall 4-7, Port Washington 4-8, RUSD 3-9, Waukesha South 2-10, Appleton East 2-10, and Bayport. And there is your cutoff for the top 16. Kettle Moraine, Oak Creek, who's not playing, Kimberly, who's not playing. So essentially, it'll come down to this right here to decide who rounds out the top 16 here. And for Division 2, Martin Luther 11-0. As of right now, they're looking to finish their series against Thorpe, so they will most likely be 12-0. Delavenderian 11-1, just a great start for them in terms of Wasilla Rocket League, because they were in Smash this past fall season. They were able to win state for Smash, so they could give Martin Luther a little bit of run for their money. I mean, that would definitely be great to see. St. Croix third, 11-2. Barron 10-2 at the number 4 spot. St. Lawrence Seminary, the number 5 spot. Wow, St. Lawrence has just come out of nowhere. So they're 10-2. Sevastopol's 10-3. Pacelli is 8-3. Wautoma 8-3 as well. Brookfield 8-4. Freedom 8-4. Rhinelander 7-6. Little Wolf 7-6. Beloit Turner 5-7. Deerfield 5-7. Random Lake 4-9, and Thorpe 3-8. So definitely the more competitive conference or division, I should say, is Division 2. There's a lot of solid teams in here, so definitely interested to see how this Division 2 bracket is going to generate as we get through week 7. But yeah, that's it for going over the standings. We'll go ahead and preview some of the matchups for week 7. Still finalizing on what the matches of the week will be for week 7. Got a good one coming up with Wausau West and Whitefish Bay on the docket as well. Cedarburg, Appleton East. And then for Division 2 for round 1, got a good one with Rhinelander and Gibraltar. St. Lawrence Seminary and St. Croix, that should be a good one as well. We'll go ahead and look at week 7, round 2. Got Waukesha West versus Madison West happening. And for Division 2, got Delavenderian versus Barron. That should be a good one. Yeah, I think the Martin Luther and Delavenderian match was changed due to scheduling, but that would have been a great match to see in the regular season for sure. Wautoma and Little Wolf also a great matchup too. That'll decide sort of that middle of the pack area for Division 2. So I will go ahead and do my due diligence to figure out who will be on our doubleheader for week 7. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, that will be all from me today for the Winter 2026 Wasilla Rocket League week 6 doubleheader stream. And we will be back next week, February 10th, for week 7's doubleheader. Then February 17th, we'll have the first round of playoffs. And then February 19th, we'll have the quarterfinal of playoffs. So thank you for watching today's doubleheader. Stay tuned for next week's week 7 doubleheader. I have been your fellow C commentator, Andrew Sr. As always, pleased to be here commentating some Wasilla Rocket League